All right, it's Prop the Mic coming to you live with another first in PTM history, a golf podcast with Jordan, aka Read the Green, for everyone's favorite tournament of the year, the Masters. Today's podcast is presented by Props.cash. We 100% could not do what we do without Props.cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM at sign up to get 25% off your first month. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Dave? I'm super excited for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. Favorite time of the year. I mean, every time the calendar rolls around to spring, I'm just getting juice for the Masters. So I'm ready.
Oh yeah, I remember shedding a few tears. You know, when what was it 2019 when Tiger came back and won? It was so emotional, man. I was literally tears in my eyes when that happened. It was so cool.
Yeah. I remember exactly where I was, and I probably will always remember where I was watching that.
Yeah,
I'm excited to get educated here because I've always liked golf, but from a betting perspective, not that familiar with how to do it. And I know you're an expert in this. You may not want to call yourself that, but especially in this audience, you're the expert. So, so very excited to go through. Not only are we going to talk about picks, but we're going to share this Masters betting guide that Jordan put together. It's available for everybody in the Discord, the PTM Discord. We're also going to be releasing parts of it, obviously, on this podcast and to X. Jordan's going to be putting those out. But it's a phenomenal summary of kind of how the tournament's going to work and some great spots. So you want to kind of share your thoughts initially on kind of why you put this together and like what your thoughts were and how you structured the betting guide?
Yeah, there's a few key things with this tournament that always play into who's winning. Current form and how well they've been playing leading up to this tournament, and especially there's a few key components: strokes gained approach, around the green. Those elements of like a golfer's game are crucial for this tournament. So I tried to filter through as much as I could, and no, not this guy, throw him out. No, not this guy, throw him out. And maybe one of those guys wins. I mean, that's the thing about golf. Somebody can put together a week where they just like play lights out and they had the best. Everybody's had the best round of their life. So somebody could put together the 4 best rounds of their life and win the tournament. But there's a few guys that are like, man, if you're going to just like look at the current form and how their game makeup is, what they're good at on the course, these are the guys I think are probably going to have good success.
Nice. So, if we go into the betting guide, you've got this structured, a little intro on the course, favorites to win, favorites that you're fading, long shots, and matchup targets. Let's just start with the course because I think it's nice to talk a little bit about what makes this such a unique environment, and maybe we'll have some questions as to how the tournament's structured. So maybe give just a quick overview on Augusta National.
Yeah, so Augusta National, huge trees, huge pine trees. They actually have pretty generous fairways, but they're like hugely sloping fairways. So there's gonna be some lies where some guys have described it like they're hitting a baseball off a tee, like a tee-ball tee, because it's like so far above their feet. And that requires an adjustment in a lot of things. I mean, it's going to cause the ball to curve a lot more one way or the other, depending on where the ball is, and that has a huge effect. And who can adjust to that? Who plays well in those kinds of conditions? Also, with it being wider fairways, guys can kind of bomb off the tee, and there's some bailout spots. But probably the biggest thing about this course is the greens. The greens are like hugely sloping. If you don't hit the right part of the green, your ball is going off. There's a few holes. There's a few holes that like if you don't catch the right ridge, especially some par 5s, your ball's not just off the green, it's in the water. So guys gotta be precise with their irons.
That's cool. I mean, it looks like an amazing place to play, and obviously kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to actually visit and go see the Masters in person. So So just for the uneducated golfer, maybe just take a step back and explain like tournament like this. How is it structured? How many golfers enter the tournament? How does the cut work? Like, how does the whole thing work just from a very high level?
Yeah, so there's gonna be around 90 golfers this week, so that's actually a smaller field for a major, which is why I love top finish bets here at Masters, because you have less of a chance of your guy getting cut, because there's only a third of the field's going to get cut this week. Which is nice. And then also, like, you think about some of the guys who are going to be cut, it's going to be some of these ceremonial guys that, they get to play every single year because they won back in like 1922, and they're like barely getting down the fairway with the stroller. And, that's right, it's a little disrespectful, but there's some guys who are they're just not going to make the cut. They're just not going to make the cut.
Sure.
They're too old. And it's like, congrats on winning, and I love that you're still wanting to give up. But
you get a lot less variability than normal fields, like a U.S. Open field, right? Yeah.
Yeah, U.S. Opens are a little crazy. This one, kind of know what you get. And also, what's really great is like they play the same course every single year. There's several of these guys who have like huge familiarity with this course and have played well, and that's also really helpful.
So just let me make sure I understood that. If you've won in the past, you're guaranteed a spot in every future tournament. Is that how it works?
Yep. Until you say I don't want to play, you get to play.
Wow. And how many of the 90 spots are usually taken up by those players?
I think this year was around like 8 to 9, and
Wow.
maybe like there's some other guys. Sky Shuffler, he would have qualified either way, but he's still like he gets a lifetime. He gets to tee it up until he's 80 if he wants.
Wow.
So yeah, there's.
I mean, does Gary Player still play? I mean, I know he's like 88 years old or something, right?
He doesn't still play.
Okay.
Yeah. What's funny is when I was 5 years old, I shared popcorn with Gary Player. We ran into him at like an amphitheater or something, and I was crying wanting popcorn, and this guy turns around and it's like, "This is Gary Player," and he's like, "Hey, do you want some of my popcorn?" And so I sat in my dad and I got to talk to Gary Player, and I'm just sitting there eating from Gary Player's popcorn. So
right, no idea who
awesome.
you're talking to. Just happy that you're eating this popcorn.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I guess that started my love for golf right there without me even knowing it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Just as a quick aside, I know we don't have a lot of time here, but I can't help, but it's been a while since we podcasted, and this happened to me this past weekend. I coached my son's rec league basketball team in Los Angeles, and the team we played was coached by Russell Westbrook. So I coached against Russell Westbrook on Saturday morning in the rec league basketball game. So just had to get that out there because I've been holding it in forever.
Did y'all win?
They don't technically keep score because at this age level it's a developmental league, but we did, yes.
Okay, so you outcoached Russell Westbrook. That's what we wanted.
I did, yes. Yeah,
okay.
Thanks, Jordan.
Wow,
Appreciate
very
that.
impressive.
I feel a little left out. You guys both have celebrity experiences. I get nothing, so we'll have to go meet somebody.
Sorry for
okay.
the detour. Go ahead.
No, that's great. That's cool stuff. So let's dive into kind of like how you approach your first play here. You want to dive into your favorites to win?
Yep. So just looking at I'm just going through the odds right now, and this Masters tournament is different than we've had in a long time. Last time we had some guy to win, and he's not right now. He's 4.5 to 1, so plus 450 for Sky Shuffler to win, which we haven't had those odds since like Tiger Woods. That's how good he's been lately.
Wow.
And I kind of like took a whole page on it, on showing just how good he is. He like gains 2 strokes per round at a rate that's higher than Rory McIlroy gains 1 stroke per round.
Wow.
Which is like bonkers good. So I actually have a future on Scotty. So it was for him to win the Players and for him to win the Masters. He won the Players, and for him to win the Masters would be great for me because I think it's like I think it's 22 to 1 for him to win. So it's plus 2,200. And so that's kind of how I'm rolling with. That's kind of affecting everything I'm betting this week because I had that play.
Sure.
And if you're not someone who was fortunate enough to get something like that, I would maybe wait and place a bet on Scotty maybe after somebody gets off to a hot start. A lot of times some guys can get off to a hot start, and I actually looked and he's kind of got an evening tee time, not evening but afternoon tee time. So maybe first round watch, and this number might creep below 6 to 1. So if you can grab it, maybe do that.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And those just, I assume those odds just update throughout the day based on positioning.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really smart way to get some more value on this.
Yeah. And I think there's a few books that have some boosts, so you can do it that way as well. Bet365 actually has a 50% boost on Masters, on a Masters pick. So I was like, that's really good odds for that. So yeah, that's probably, but this is my main guy to win. This is who I think is going to win. But I mean, he may not. So that's why we got some other guys.
Yeah, and this is his recent. You guys can see the screen from ESPN, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's a little small, but his recent tournament wins, right? So he's had a lot of success this year as well there.
Yeah.
And back to your sheet, you said last 5 Masters, 10, 1, 18, 19, and whatever he does this time.
Yeah, he didn't play before then. So
okay.
He's been top 20 every time he's teed up. At the Masters.
Interesting.
He's pretty good.
And that's a bet you can make too, right? A top 20
Yeah.
play on him, but that's got to. What are the odds on something like that? Roughly?
Yeah, it's like it's pretty juiced. I mean, I would combine it with something. There's a few guys I've actually looked at playing. I'll probably get into that at the very end. Like some guys I parlay together, like a top 30 or top 40 finish. You can get like around 2 to 1 odds on that.
Okay. All right. So we like Scotty at plus 450, I think he said, and maybe wait a little later in the day on the first day to see if that can get juiced up to 600. Let's go to your next play to win it all.
So, yeah, let's go down to Xander because John Rahm. He won last year. We know he can get it done.
Yeah.
But Xander Schauffele is someone that I actually really love to win this week as well. If you look, he's third in total strokes gained. He's amazing approach player. He's got great irons, and he's actually I was looking at it. He actually gained like 3 or 4 miles per hour club speed, which may not seem like a lot, but when there's it's going to equal probably close to 10 yards off the tee, which is giving you probably one less club into every single green. So he's worked on that, and he's gotten better at driving the ball this year, and it's paid off. I mean, he's like I said, he's like an auto bet for a top 20. I'm going to have him in a top 20 play with somebody else. I actually looked yesterday. We need to pull it back up. I think you wanted to parlay him and John Rahm together. I think it was like plus 110 for them to both finish top 20, including ties, which I love that play.
What does MC mean?
Missed cut.
Okay,
Yeah, he missed the cut a couple of years ago. If I'm correct, I think he was struggling a little bit with an injury there. So those kinds of things, you kind of toss that out. But otherwise, I mean, he's a top 20 machine,
right?
Especially at majors.
Yeah, he's been 17 or less in the other 4 appearances, and then Rahm was basically 4 out of 5 in the top 10. So seems like there's value between Rahm, Xander, and Scotty in some sort of combination of top 20 finish, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Love that. All right. Anything else on this one?
He hasn't won a major, so if you're looking at an outright bet on him and you're like wondering, can he get it done? That may give you a little bit of a pause. But I think he's got everything he needs, and he's only been improving the last few years. So I like him. He's one of the best golfers, like as far as form goes right now.
Nice. And what were the odds again for him to win outright?
I think yesterday I put out, I think the best odds were maybe plus 14 or plus 1600 and plus 1600 on DraftKings. And I used the boost, and I got him at plus 2000. So,
wow.
Which, what do you like?
All right. Love that too. Let's keep moving down. So you got a few more guys in here, and then we got our favorites to fade, and then let's go to long shots. I think you got 2 long shots that you wanted to discuss on this pod as well, right?
Yeah, really like Russell Henley. He's done really well. He's also a very consistent golfer. These are the kinds of guys that I want to bet for top finishes, or consistent guys. Xander Schauffele is one of them. Henley's also one of them. So yeah, I think I put that he's top 20 and 15 out of his last 23 events on tour, which is pretty great.
Wow.
He's not a super long guy, but that's good because that in some ways for top finishes, because that means he's not going to spray it off the tee. He really keeps the ball in front of him. He plays to his strength, which is wedges, which is putting. It's around the green game. And there's a guy named Zach Johnson who won. I can't remember what year it was, maybe like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he won by laying up to every single par 5, which is like not something a lot of people do. But if you have like elite wedges, it can pay off. Henley could probably take that kind of path to potentially winning, but definitely love him as a top 20 play. And I like him as a top 30 play. Actually, I'm playing him as top 30 at minus 115. So I really like him as finishing top 30, which it looks like he's done in the last 5 years. He's finished top 30 here.
And would you sprinkle a little on him to win the whole thing, or is he too big of a long shot for that?
Let me look at where he's at. I haven't personally sprinkled on him to win. I may look at that. I'm probably going to have everything wrapped up by this evening on all of my plays from the Masters. I'm on the edge of playing him. He's at, let's see, he's at 65-1 to win.
Wow.
So maybe a $5. He might be giving a $5 bill on him to win. So, which is less than 0.1 unit. So
yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing something like that. And if he gets up there, I mean, I've had some success in the past just playing some guys, and I don't think he's going to win this tournament because one of these other guys is way up there. Let's just take a cash out and make a little bit of money that way. So that's always an option that someone can take.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask as well. So they'll basically give you certain books will give you the cash out option. So as you get closer and closer to the final day, if you want to take plus 100, plus 200, whatever you can get for it at that point, might be worth it. All right, cool. And let's hear your other long shot.
Yeah, Sahith Theegala. So if you look at his strokes gained total, he's been actually great this year. He's 7th total. He's been lights out with the putter, which is great for this place. It's greens slope so much. Knowing how to play the break, getting the right speed is paramount here. And last year he finished 9th, so he has great, great record here. Just one outing, but He's also he's had 4 top 10s this year. So he's been playing really great this year as well. And having current form is really important. And 3 of those, 4 events that he finished top 10 were all elevated events that the tour like will put out some more coin for guys to come and show up and play. And the WM, which can be crazy and fun. He almost won it the year before. The Arnold Palmer, which is a really tough course. The Players, which is a really tough course. And then now we got Augusta National, which he was 7th at last year, and it's also a tough course. So I really like him. He seems like when the competition rises, he also rises.
That's awesome. Very sneaky. I like that play. Not as much of a history as some of the other guys that you brought up here, but because of that, we can maybe get even more value, right? So
yeah, he's actually 55-1 right now to win on FanDuel. So
all right. So
I love it. I love him for like him and Henley together for top 30. I love that. There was one more that I took a picture of I really like. Let you know this really quick. Yeah, Henley top 40. One of the ones I was looking at, this is kind of going off of the board of what we were looking at. Finau was an honorable mention that I had, and him and Henley together to have a top 40 is minus 104 on Bet365. That includes ties, which is pretty important.
yeah.
So I really like that play on Bet365 if somebody's interested in that.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, so we're gonna throw a surprise at you as well. I know Tom has done a little research and has his long shot of the tournament. So Tom, who do you like?
I do. So I don't know much. I conferred with one of my longtime golfing buddies for I want to bring a little sleeper pick on here and then see what you thought about it. So he's on Joaquin Niemann. Okay. He said feeling like he's a good sleeper pick. He said he's been doing well on the Live Tour and he's thinking he could be a bit under the radar this week. So what do you think?
Yep, I actually had him mentioned up there. I love Joaquin Niemann this week. I think Bet Rivers had the best number on him at one point, and they have like a top 10 insurance when you get back in bonus bets. And so I was like, I'm taking that.
All right.
I really love that play. So your buddy led you in the right direction for sure.
All right, shout out Steve. All right, there you go.
Man, yeah, he has been lights out on the Live Tour. I was actually kind of watching a little bit of that. I watched more golf, when it's a non-major this weekend than I usually do. That's just for me to like understand what's happening right now, look at some players with my own eyes. He made like a bomb putt, like probably 40 feet. Like when I first turned it on, I was like, yep, Niemann this week. So,
all right,
nice.
and by far the most important question on today's pod. Jordan, we hear you're a pretty good golfer yourself. So if you were to shoot play it at Augusta National, how would you do? What's your prediction on your over under?
My own over under is set. I would probably set my own over under at like 105 for me at Augusta National because of just how crazy hard it is, and by far the weakest link of my game is putting. So
Dave and I grew up with Bethpage Black in our backyards, so the whole Bethpage golf complex. So I've it's been a while, but I've played Bethpage Black a couple times, and I think if I remember correctly, I shot like a 138 or something like that.
Pretty humbling experience.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Also, really quick, Tiger Woods tees up this week. We can't not talk about Tiger Woods, especially because like he's the whole reason I started loving golf. Was Tiger Woods. I'm watching that chip in 2005. I remember like laying on the living room floor watching that, like jumping up and down. And I don't know if Tiger's gonna win. I think it's very unlikely. If he makes the cut, that's a win. With all that said, I had to throw like a bonus bet on him still to win because like, if he wins, I want to root for it like even more. I don't know that I would put like any real money on him, but if you get offered a $5 or $10 bonus bet and you want to put it on Tiger Woods just to like roll with it and say like, hey, if he wins, I get to have like a whole lot of fun. Do it. Like betting is supposed to be fun. If you want it to be profitable, but it's supposed to be fun too, and that hopefully that would make things a little bit more fun if Tiger gets picks.
I'm pretty sure DraftKings or FanDuel will have some sort of boost on Tiger. That's the one thing, even though I don't usually bet on golf, that's the one thing I always see pop up is like Tiger to win it all, and I'm like, that does seem like a sucker's bet, but I like your perspective on it because it's a fan bet, right? And if he does go far, even if he doesn't win the whole thing, that'll be like a ton of fun to be cheering for.
Yeah, he's getting like a 1% of my card, like as far as like total units.
Yeah.
But it's just for the sake of like, I don't want Tiger to win, and for me to be like, man, like, well, my other guys didn't win. Like that's how I want to feel good about Tiger winning like in multiple ways. So great way to try.
Yes.
Awesome.
Nice. I think that does that do it?
I think so. I put a few things in the betting guide too about some matchups, matchup targets, some guys who have some good name brand, but have not played well recently. So there's that in there. I mean, I'll probably put some of those in the Discord as well. And I might throw a lot or two out on X just for people to follow along with. But, some of my better plays are probably going to be in the Discord channel.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining. It was awesome to do a golf podcast. First one in PTM history. Looking forward to more. I guess the next big tournament is US Open, right? So I think we'll definitely be back for one of those. But thanks, Jordan. Great work. The guide is awesome. I can't wait to dig into it a little bit more. Excited to get some of these bets in, and I think we're all going to be making some money this weekend.
Sounds great.
All right. Be good, guys.
All right, see you.